Good evening and welcome to our show.
Stop it. Stop. You don't fuck it up.
Back up.
You don't I'm not the bitch. Deep up
Alright.
bitch. Okay.
Welcome to our show. I'm a fag.
And I'm a hag.
Today we'll be reviewing Twilight, rated PG-13.
This movie is starring Kirsten Stewart and Robert Pattinson, co-starring Taylor Lautner.
Yeah.
We don't really care about him until the next movie, do we?
I don't really care about the movie.
Yeah, this movie was trash. In my personal opinion, I'll say. Could not relate to the characters.
Very unrelatable.
And I mean, I understand this is a fantasy film, but I really should be able to give a shit about these two people, and I find that I really wish that they'd just drown themselves.
I wanted Bella to die.
Right.
Well, my problem with her is she's not a great actress, for one. She hasn't appeared in any mainstream movies other than
She was in Panic Room. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
with Jodie Foster, which
Where
I could not believe that was her.
Yeah. But
She
that was
wasn't
probably
biting her lip.
her best role to date. Like, all she had to do was play a diabetic little kid who has a diabetic attack while her
And I think, you know
house is
what?
being
I think she
robbed.
really drew inspiration for Twilight from that diabetic little girl. Let me see if I
With
have
all of
her
her
name here.
quivering and...
Grinding.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Diabetic Little Girl number 6, Jodie Foster's Child, Panic Room, 1997. Watch it, I'm sure. Watch it. It's much better than this. In fact, if you just watched that, you would save money.
Yes. Okay.
I hate this movie, Israel.
Now, okay, it starts off with Bella's mom and her stepfather telling her that they need to spend some time on the road, and so they send her to live with her dad in Forks, Washington.
Forks, Washington.
An actual town?
An actual town, but it is, I believe Stephanie Meyer, who's the author of this trash, said that it is the place with the most rainfall. So therefore,
That's
the
why
least
that was
amount
chosen.
of cloudy days during, or the least amount of sunny days during the year. A perfect place for vampires.
So she ends up there, and immediately after that goes to school the next day. Very next day. She's not even registered, just shows up, in school. And she ends up, the audience is introduced to the Cullens, who apparently moved from Alaska.
And of course, they're more beautiful than anything you've ever seen, and completely set apart from the rest of the student body that are just normal people.
Yet are apparently supposed to be foster children and are paired up as couples.
And brother and
except
sisters.
for Edward.
And brothers and sisters. So Edward is the oddball, of course, because he's the Gary Stu of our story. There's nothing this boy can't do, and there's no inconvenience or convenience he cannot meet. He is every girl's dream, and he fits the plot perfectly without having any actual real character.
They start out in science class, and Bella is paired up with him immediately.
Of course, and Bella is new to the school. Don't forget, Bella, who's supposed to be average, plain, and not very specifically good or bad looking, just plain. You notice how every guy in the film is just throwing themselves at her?
Yes. She turns down everyone except for Edward. And that very first day in the science class, Edward sees her, he stares her down, creams in his pants, runs to the office and tries to change classes immediately, and then doesn't show up for the rest of the week.
Right. Well, if I had to sit next to that boring little snail trail, I would leave too, but I probably wouldn't come back.
Shortly after that, animals start killing people around the town. And Edward says he had left town for a few days for personal reasons. Yet he comes back all more paler, and then he tries to spark conversation about the weather. More paler.
You didn't go to high school with them, did you?
Yeah.
They went to a much better high school than my fact. So, anyway.
She says she hates the rain and anything cold and wet.
So
and he should have said his was always warm and dry.
That's the worst pen I think I've ever heard. No, but the point is that they put this character in from one extreme setting to the next. They move her from Arizona, I don't think it rains maybe 4 days out of the year there, to the rainiest locale on the face of the earth, aside from, a rainforest. And then all of a sudden, in this new extreme location that our character has been thrust in and we're supposed to care about, she meets Edward Cullen. I think, the worst character ever created in the history of cinema or literature. Continuing on with the story, after I've said that, I'm sorry, I'm just horribly disappointed with this film. It was awful. But the story is even worse, and Izzy can tell
After
you
her
the
first
rest.
near-death experience, where a van almost takes her out, Dr. Cullen checks her vitals and looks at her eyes and says she's fine. Although in the scene, you can obviously tell she's cross-eyed. In that one scene.
You can't fix ugly sometimes.
Okay, now it's sickening to watch her sleep, because while she's sleeping, she's dreaming of Edward, and at that time there's dry humping the bottom of her sheets, and he's watching as soon as in her sleep.
Apparently Bella also suffers from COPD, which is a horrible cardiopulmonary and lung condition.
But see, I think that's why Edward likes watching her, because it's almost like a softcore porn.
I remember when I used to breathe. So he picks a girl that just does everything to the extreme.
They go on a field trip to a local greenhouse with the rest of their class. They don't see nature all the time.
In the middle of the greenest part of, the country, the Pacific Northwest.
And during that, and countless other times throughout the movie, Bella and Edward have some of the most awkward conversations two characters in any movie could ever have.
And not conversations real people, neither of this age nor any age, or realistically would have. These characters are so out of reality, beyond the normal fantasy level, that you can't connect to them or their dialogue at any point in time.